Hey there, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. How are you doing? Are you well? I'm coming off of a very just a very emotional and mentally engaging week. Um, you know how I've been recovering, trying to get back or regain some strength from my last hospital stay. Gosh, as you remember, like that just wow, just took me down. And not only am I trying to regain my strength, I lost like 10 pounds, so I'm trying to regain that. And so, that's part of this week is joy from being able to go for a couple of walks and be able to extend those walks. To be able to go for the walks independently without my wife worrying about me. Going out to the river and playing with my dog. Things like that. There's things that trying to regain or rebuild endurance and strength and such. And well, I am really trying to find ways to shit rainbows right now, to be honest. And one of those ways is, as we talked about last time, I'm trying to look at things that, when I sneeze and I tinkle. That's happening these days, right? But that's what happens when you get old. And so I'm excited that I'm having that experience because it's one of those things that happens when you get old, right? And I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, I'm back. I found it. This is happening to me a lot right now. I'm very forgetful. Again, though, when you get older, you start to forget. People tell stories, right? Like you're like, where are my keys? They're in your hand. What was I doing? Where am I going? What was the words I was looking for? And those things are happening to me because of the chemo treatment that I'm in. But I'd like to say to myself that it is because I'm getting old, and so I'm getting to have old people experiences. And that is one of the ways that I'm trying to shit rainbows right now, because I've had a very persistent something ever since I got sick 2 months ago and was hospitalized for those couple of weeks. It started off with my being dizzy when I would stand up, or I thought I was being dizzy it's a really weird. But it started right after I was hospitalized. So I've been chatting with my doctors about it, obviously, trying to figure out, they were checking out the heart and, it sounded like a blood pressure issue. And anyways, we're still trying to figure it out. But in the meantime, what it has kind of like snowballed into more of a frequent experience is my, and I hesitate to call it dizzy. It's really weird. It's like it's an issue with my balance, and I kind of feel like I don't know. I was thinking maybe it was like vertigo, but my wife had vertigo once and she said no. But the way that I look at it, like I will like sit down in a chair and all of a sudden I feel like my brain is a bowling ball and it's just rolling through my head, right? And I have to wait like, whoa, is this gonna stop? And I'm not like dizzy, but should I stand up and have that same experience, it does impact my balance, right? So it's really strange. It's very scary. And because of it, my wife and I have had a lot of conversations, and it has been getting more frequent. And so to be safe, my wife has asked me to make the right decision for right now, and to not ride my bike, and to not drive, which is I guess an old person's experience, right? I've always wondered how people's sense of independence and how their ego and how they deal with it when, their children come to them and say, I think it's time for you to stop driving, right? That's my shitting rainbows. I'm having an old person experience. My wife has asked me to stop driving to be safe for myself and others. And it is the right decision. And now I know how one would feel when they have that conversation. And I know it seems strange because I've been really sick over the last 4.5 years, right? So much chemo, so many surgeries, etc. We've never had to have this conversation before because I don't drive when it's chemo week. I am very fortunate to have a very supportive chosen family, and my wife creates a situation where I don't need to drive ever, but I like to drive, and it's also hard for me. And I guess this is where I'm going to be relating to, again, an old person. Your independence is taken away, but there's very few things that I can do for my wife today. I can't even cook dinner for her successfully without it causing some kind of stress for her, because I'll leave the burner on, or I'll forget that I'm cooking and burn the food. I like to cook for her. I've always fed her, right? But the other thing is that my wife doesn't really drive. When she was 30 years old, I bought her first car, and I forced her to go get a driver's license. And over the years, she has appreciated cars very much, but I am the family driver. And she doesn't like to drive in the city. It really really freaks her out. And I love driving. I love road trips. I love driving in the city. I love all the car, and I love doing that for my wife. I love being her chauffeur. I love dropping her off at work in the morning or picking her up, and I love being the family driver. And it's been one thing that I've been able to do for her through this time, is that I can do that for her. And so it's hard to admit to myself that this is the right decision. I can't have this incident happen when I'm driving, for the safety of myself, my wife, and my dog, but then for others. That's so selfish, I don't want someone to end up getting into an accident with me and some awful thing happens and they think it's their fault. That would be awful. So, old person experience. That's what this week has just been, recognizing that this thing is happening, which, in and of itself, this thing that is happening is very scary because, are these episodes because now it's an impact from the brain radiation? Is it the cancer? Is it they put me on a new medication around the same time as I came out of that hospital? That was to help control the neuropathy, right? It impacts your hands and feet. And this new treatment is so intense that without this medication, I can't stand up. So, I hope it's not that medication, but maybe it's the medication. Maybe it's the altitude out here. I don't know, but that's the game that we've been playing this week, in addition to just breathing through the fact that, like, whoa, okay, I don't know what this is. It's the next thing we have to tackle. And it man, it has taken everything from me over the years, and it never took my ability to feel that I could make the decision to drive, right? I didn't always drive, but I could decide when and maybe that'll come back once we figure this out, right? Once we figure it out, I just hope we figure it out, because it is very scary. And I just didn't think, I thought I'd gotten away after that brain radiation. I've had no impact over the last 2 months. I thought I got away with that. Oh, we'll see. But that was this week. And so, again, lots of emotions, lots of really good stuff though too, because I was able to go for walks. I did get that last bike ride in before treatment last time, right? Where I did this most amazing dream-filled 40-mile bike ride. Holy cow. Somehow I pulled that off and perfectly right before I had to decide to not ride my bike for a little while, right? That is a whole other thing, because you know how proud I was of myself for becoming strong enough to ride that bike. It's okay. It's the goal that I strive for constantly, is to be able to do the thing I love. So it just means that I have a goal. See, shitting rainbows. Hey there. Thanks for sticking around to the end. This week I was struggling so much with trying to figure out, what that thought process was going to be to continue shitting rainbows, right? As I'm wrestling, the roller coaster of the impact of cancer on my life, the loss of independence again, and the first time when I was first diagnosed, I got sick immediately. Within weeks, I was wheelchair and bedbound and stayed that way for a year. It's really strange this time to watch things slowly, one by one, try to take me down. Anyways, one of the things I was thinking about is it's all about your approach, right? It's the only thing that's in our control, is we get to decide how we choose to look at things and how we deal with things. And for me, in dealing with the grief that I am going to not have a future, I'm not going to grow old. I'm trying to find things like my memory loss. That's an old person experience. So, trying to find ways to shit rainbows. And so I was thinking, if you have any stories to share about something that was, that was really intense or it was just a struggle. And how did you decide? What was your shitting rainbows? What did you flip that to? And how did you talk yourself into looking at it that way? I don't know. I feel like we could all use some stories of survival right now. So, all right. I will chat with you after this week of treatment. See you on the other side.